Ci ho messo un anno, ma alla fine ce l'ho fatta. Salve a tutti cari sconosciuti, io sono Ferry, se preferite Mairoki e questo video è un'intervista al lead designer di Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Non oserò pronunciare il suo nome, lascerò che lo faccia lui al posto mio e per quanto la mia lingua mortale non sia in grado di pronunciare le parole divine, devo dire che ha un nome fichissimo.
Yeah, no worries, everybody does basically. So my name is pronounced Prokop Jirsa. And it's very hard for basically anybody who's not native Czech. So don't worry about butchering it a little bit.
Okay, it's super cool. By the way, I love it. È stato gentilissimo e dalle sue parole è emersa tantissima passione e attenzione per il proprio lavoro. Qualcosa che al giorno d'oggi dovrebbe essere scontato, ma non è così, quindi apprezziamo le piccole gioie della vita. Inoltre queste per me sono occasioni preziosissime per avere insight, punti di vista interni a quella che è appunto la linea di lavoro dietro la produzione di un videogioco, quindi è stata un'esperienza super interessante e mi ha fatto tanto piacere e sono contentissima di poterla condividere con voi. La prima domanda verteva ovviamente su quello che è stato effettivamente il suo ruolo durante lo sviluppo di Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Questo significa spiegare in soldoni, concretamente, che cos'è un lead designer.
Okay, so my role changed between the projects.
Okay.
I joined Warhorse Studios right before the Kickstarter for Kingdom Come 1. So it's like more than 11 years ago.
Yes.
And I joined as a narrative designer.
Okay.
And in Warhorse, it means that's the guy who comes up with the design of the quest, meaning the idea, the characters. He oversees the production. That means like he's pushing so everything is correctly done, and you play test everything, and you write all the dialogues. That was my role on Kingdom Come 1.
Okay.
So quite a lot of quests in Kingdom Come 1 are made by me. Something like 1/5 to 1/4 of all the quests in Kingdom Come 1 is made by me. And then to the Kingdom Come 2, and I think the interview is mostly about Kingdom Come 2.
Yeah.
My role was lead designer. And that means basically that I oversaw all the narrative designers, all the most of the gameplay designers, and I also oversaw the creation of all the voiceovers. So it was my responsibility that the quests are good, that the features are good, and that the voiceovers are made, in the exact quality we wanted to.
Okay. So I have to thank you because I am almost 34-year-old. My birthday is at the end of this month, so I'm almost 34. And I play video games since I was 10, maybe earlier. And Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 has become one, if not the best game for me. It's my it's my favorite game. So thank you from the bottom of my heart.
It's so nice to hear. It's so nice to hear. But I have to mention it. The Warhorse is like 240 people now.
Of course.
So most of the work was done by narrative designers that were working under me, and also there was a big guidance from creative director that was above me. So thank you, and I really appreciate when somebody enjoys this game. I really do. It always, the game has been out for some time and it was really successful. So we had some positive, remarks here and there, but it's always nice to hear. So thank you for that.
Successivamente, avendo già lavorato al primo Kingdom Come Deliverance, io ho domandato quali siano, secondo lui, le principali differenze fra il primo e il secondo gioco.
That's good question. Because there's both quite a lot of changes, but from the overall point of view, the game is very similar.
Yes.
And it is very intentional. It was, there was actually quite a big discussions in our offices like 8 years ago or 6 years ago, whether how different Kingdom Come 2 should be from Kingdom Come 1. And I vividly still remembering, I was very passionate about it. I said, listen, guys, Kingdom Come 1, the type of a game we made, it's unique. People love it. The idea of that game is sound. we just need to make it correctly. And I was using the argument, listen, the guys that, for example, loves, I don't know, GTA 4, they wouldn't like different game. They just want better GTA. So that was the idea. We felt like the specific unique blend we use to make this kind of RPG is correct. We want to continue with that. We just need to make it bigger and better. So that was the idea. So we improved basically everything, almost very slightly, but so the quality and the polishing and, you know, both the design polishing and the technical polishing was done like way more meticulously.
Yes. And what about the narrative? There was some discussions about the style, the rhythm of the narrative.
We definitely, that's one of the bigger changes, actually. The tone of the narrative changed a little bit, because the Kingdom Come 1 was mostly about Henry, like becoming, you know, he was basically a village peasant. Yes. Basically, he was, you know, it's a little spoilerish, but he was, let's say, son of a blacksmith, but it's more complicated than that. And he was dealing with very like local problems. Yes. And in Kingdom Come 2, we had the option, we had the budget, the ambition, and the option to make it bigger. So he moved to more important regions, he met more important people, and that was intentional. So most of the quests in Kingdom Come 2, especially main quests, are a little more grandiose. You know, there's bigger things happening. There's sieges and intricacies and very important people, historical figures, you know, emperor actually, very important people. So there, yeah, that was intentionally made a little bit more grandiose, I guess is the correct word.
Yeah, more epic, we could say.
Yeah.
Ok. Ho chiesto poi a
Prokop Jirsa
se vi fossero state delle meccaniche di gioco che il team avrebbe voluto inserire all'interno del titolo, ma che per un motivo o per un altro non è stato possibile realizzare.
There's so many. You know, and actually it's you know, it's usually these questions usually make our fans, well, fans of any video game developer a little sad. But I would like to point out that it's actually like aspect of a healthy development. You usually, if you have a good design team, they're full of ideas. They want to make everything and anything in the game. So that's, on one side, it's very good. But if you want to finish a game in some, you know, time and have some, you know, level of quality, you need to, during the development, you have to cut some things, and it usually improves the game. Not only because it allows us to finish the game, but the game can also become a little bit bloated. That's just like a general remark. But to answer you like some specific things, you know, we are thinking about, you know, for example, with the blacksmithing minigame, there were like ideas that we could do more with that. You know, we were thinking about even armor smithing for a while. There was actually a big debate about Bard minigame, about telling stories or playing instruments and how that would merge, you know, and the minigames when you would like come to the pub and, you know, do some seance that you would play and tell stories and jokes and you would learn stories around the world. There was some interesting idea, but it had a lot of issues and problems that would need to be solved. So it was one of the bigger ones that we cut.
Okay.
And yeah, and for example, with the sieges, there were some ideas about siege weapons that you could use. So we implemented some of them. You know, you can throw the stones and do stuff like that. But there are definitely more ideas that would be cool. But we just needed to have the game finished and in the quality we wanted to. So,
of course.
Yeah. So like this.
Ne ho approfittato e anche condiviso il mio feedback, cosa che ho fatto anche con chi mi segue in live, ovvero che da persona che per anni, più di un decennio, ha praticato equitazione, mi avrebbe fatto piacere avere la possibilità di possedere più di un cavallo, a maggior ragione appunto con il secondo DLC, dove effettivamente Henry può avere delle stalle di sua proprietà, quindi una scusa perfetta per poter possedere più di un cavallo per occasioni diverse, quindi un cavallo da battaglia, un cavallo da viaggio e così via.
That was another idea we had, but it was cut actually. So there would be some issues with that, but maybe in the future, who knows?
It should have been cool because maybe I can own a battle horse, more brave to fight, but also a faster horse to
yes, and one that would carry more. Exactly. Yes. And we were actually really thinking about it. There was also one thing that we were thinking about, that you can now pet your horse while in the saddle. And we were thinking with the multiple, with the stables with multiple horses, we were thinking about feeding the horses. We were thinking about how you could pet them from the front and stuff like this. But maybe in the future, I hear the like people would want that. Yeah.
Ho chiesto poi informazioni su come è stata realizzata in game la città di Kuttenberg. Ve ne avevo già parlato durante il mio video di anteprima di Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, metterò più o meno qua da qualche parte. Durante quell'evento di anteprima ho avuto appunto la possibilità di visitare direttamente la città, vedere le comparazioni fra la città in-game e quella reale. E per quanto non sia stato coinvolto direttamente in quella fase della produzione, la risposta è stata comunque illuminante.
I can tell you a little bit, but just to note, this wasn't done by me in any capacity. You know, we had like concept art. It's like basically the people that like do mostly 2D concept, and they research, they go to the locations, they research that perfectly. And then we have environmental artists that actually model the city and place it together. So I was in contact with them, but just to be sure, it wasn't done by me in any capacity. But it's basically done like this. It's well, there's actually more nuance to that. When you start creating the map, we use historical maps, and we use like the most historical maps we can get. So some of them are really Middle Ages, but a lot of them are from the, for example, First Republic, or even older, for the Austro-Hungarian. They're like, they mapped the whole region because they needed to be sure that they can move armies around. So there was a really good mapping from like the 19th, 18th centuries. So these are the oldest maps. If we don't have real medieval maps, we use these maps, and then we use modern height maps. So this like modern, you have 3D modern height maps, and from this from the perspective of a main story, we know the specific events and specific locations that needs to be in a map. But there are a lot of like variables. For example, we knew we had to have Kuttenberg in the map, but regarding the villages around, or the or the specific nature landmarks, that was something that we could change a little bit. So usually what we do, we like compare the historical maps, the real locations that we visited, with the height map, and we are trying to like bring them up a little bit, so it still feels very authentic. It needs to feel authentic. It's really important for us, but it's a little smaller, and it retains all the best vistas, best locations, best natural landmarks. So this is like the first step. So after this, we know what the map will look like, what locations will be there. So we knew there will be Kuttenberg. And then it's basically what you would imagine. We had a lot of research from all the chronicles. With the we developed connections with the people in Kuttenberg, with the mayor and other, and there's a lot of museums and historians specifically in Kuttenberg that their livelihood is to study this, or to present it to people. So we made connections with them, especially our historians, or our people that are knowledgeable in history in our company, and we did a lot of like background material that. From that, the concept art could say, okay, so this will be the important parts of the Kuttenberg that will be in the game. We try to have every bit of Kuttenberg, the historical part of the Kuttenberg. Thankfully, the historical Kuttenberg was still huge, but not as huge as in our time. So we were almost 100% successful with like putting the historical city in the game. We had to cut some corners here and there, but you will still definitely, and you were there, so you'll still, if you know the Kuttenberg from our game, if you visit the historical city now, because it was basically retained from Middle Ages, you will still recognize the landmarks, the streets, the squares, and everything. So in very short, from my very little knowledge I have about this topic, this is, I guess, the best description of creation of Kuttenberg.
Yeah, it was a great job, and for me, just walk around in Kuttenberg inside the game was super immersive and in some way relaxing. I don't know why, but it looks very very alive, very real. So the streets, the market, I love the marketplace with all the signs. It's very colorful, very, very alive. So in my opinion, your studio did an amazing job, but it's just my
Thank
opinion.
you. Basically what you're describing, like that you were enjoying just being present
Yes.
in the city. That's very intentional on our part. We really, we are always talking about, immersion and realism, but this is basically it. We wanted when our players are playing the game, even when they're not on a quest or when they're not like trying to achieve their own goal, for example, gaining money or something like that. We want them to feel in the place like they're like, it's cozy. It's like welcoming. It feels real enough. It doesn't feel fake. It feels like this place could exist, and it probably did exist.
Yes.
So I think one of our fans, we never really put it into like specific description, but one of our fans on some, I think it was on Reddit, told that the Kingdom Come is the only single player game that he will just log in to be present in. He doesn't have a plan for the evening. He doesn't start the game for finishing some quest or for gaining some experience. He just wanted to be present in the world, and it was the best praise we ever got because this was the intention we had.
Ho poi provato a punzecchiare nel tentativo di carpire qualche indizio su quello che potrebbe essere il futuro di Warhorse e Kingdom Come Deliverance in generale come saga, dato che con la pubblicazione del terzo e ultimo DLC di Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 il progetto può essere considerato a tutti gli effetti concluso. Ovviamente la risposta è stata super blindata, ma le vibes sono state positive. Is Warhorse's goal to continue to create games that represent this new kind of RPG, because it's a single player but has some elements of like an MMO? It's
definitely we think that our like approach of making games, and especially the feeling that the worlds are real, that are free to explore, but that they feel real, that they don't feel like a fake thing that's there only for you and only for the specific moments. The world should feel like it exists and works even without the main protagonist.
Yes.
So that's something that we will definitely continue doing. And I can't talk about the future much. Toby is here to guard that.
Of course,
but yeah, definitely.
You can talk about it, but there is a future. We can say there is a future.
Definitely. Kingdom Come 2 was successful. So yes, there is future. Even though it's really cutthroat industry, we made successful projects, so we can continue making definitely something more and more.
Ho quindi domandato quale sia stata la più grande difficoltà affrontata da Warhorse nella realizzazione del gioco e ho ricevuto non una ma ben 2 risposte, entrambe molto interessanti.
I know it's a hard question, but it's the biggest one would be boring, because it's like boring to explain, because the biggest one was like how to put so much content into the game in the quality we wanted to, in the time frame we had. So it's like obviously the biggest challenge, but it's like made up of so many little decisions during the time and so many little things we had to decide, or we had to like struggle with too, and hire new people and deal how to do that well and everything. So it's definitely the biggest one. It's like the most influential one I was dealing with during the development. But it's not, I don't think it's a good answer for interview like this, because it's too general. So I'll give you one specific. And one specific issue we had is that because our systems, it's very systems driven game. It's just a very strong narrative. but there are a lot of systems that interact with each other. You know, the open world lives and it influences the quest. And it's also important topic. But what I want to talk about is a lot of these interactions, most of them are voiced. So somebody has to record every little reaction. You know the crime system. You can talk to the guards and everybody reacts and they remember you. And so each of this needs to be voiced. And it was like a year and a half before releasing the game, before the planned release of the game, when we realized that the amount of voiceovers we would need to do was like absurdly high. The thing we have in the game is absurd, but the planned thing was even way bigger. It doesn't mean, I'll continue, it doesn't mean that we had to cut some things, but we had to come up with a very smart solution that would because before that, every voice basically recorded everything. It was a little more complicated than that, but it was like, so everybody could be, every voice actor we had planned could be bandit, guard, anything, because they would basically, even then it was a little more, it was smarter than that. But we had to develop very smart systems that would assign the specific lines to specific people, and not only like, okay, this guy can only be guard, but for example, we wanted to retain the variety. So for example, if we had written like 20 reactions to a specific crime, the system did that even if, let's say 5 actors all played a guard that has this reaction, each one of them only recorded, for example, 4 out of the 20. So we kept the variety, but we were able to record way less voiceovers. And it was even more smart. But this was like a specific issue that could have either made the project way more expensive or could have prolonged the release date. So this was like a specific thing we had to solve. And we did that, I think, quite well. There were even more systems, fallback voices and, but it was like a specific thing.
Okay, it's an interesting answer because often me too, but of course a normal player, normal gamer usually does not think about this kind of issues or obstacles during the production. So it's a very, very interesting answer. Thank you.
If you sometimes hear, for example, somebody changing his voice a little bit in the game, it's usually not a bug. It's usually the system working as intended, but you probably met like thousands of similar interactions where, for example, somebody, did something and you just didn't notice and you just noticed a little bit of something. It's not something that we overlooked. It's only that the adjustment of the systems you wouldn't see these things didn't work like 100 perfect.
Or we can think that people are bipolar and change voices randomly during the day.
Yeah, that's the explanation. Yes, obviously.
It's canon now. Una domanda a cui tenevo particolarmente riguardava l'intelligenza artificiale e in generale come l'avanzamento tecnologico degli ultimi anni abbia influenzato il processo di sviluppo di Kingdom Come Deliverance 2.
Let's get out the last one from the AI basically didn't help us at all in KCD. It was like we made it old school. Everything is done by hand. I can solidly say that. We'll see how that will influence our next projects. There might be some possibilities. I don't know. I don't want to rule it out. But as of now, I still feel that the quality is not there. So. We are still making everything by our very senior developers that do know how to do their stuff.
Yeah.
So that's regarding the AI. But the progress on a technological side and a production side from Kingdom Come 1 to Kingdom Come 2 was like humongous. Kingdom Come 1, I'm very proud of the game. I still don't understand how we managed to do that with so little people, with so little experience in that time frame. It was like magic, basically. We really worked very, very hard, and then we had quite a few experienced people, but most of the team were like newcomers to the industry, and we managed to do that game. I'm very proud of that. But most of us didn't know what we were really doing. So for Kingdom Come 2, we really wanted to improve. We felt like, Kingdom Come 1 was really good, but it was not in the best of states when we released the game. And we really wanted to avoid that. We really wanted, when we released the game, we wanted to be polished, bug-free, running well on multiple, PC specifications. So there were like a lot of effort and time put into that. It's really hard because what you need to do, and we are coming back to the cut features, you really have to have some time at the end of the development when the game could be better, like from the design perspective. There could be more quests, there could be more features, or some of the features could have some additional things here and there. But you have to resist this temptation and really say, okay, we need to just stabilize the game, fix the bugs, polish the experience and everything. So we had processes, dedicated to that, people that were overseeing it, that a lot of new auto testing, QA department was really improved by a mile. And it's most of the work from the technical perspective is obviously on our programming department that grew a lot for Kingdom Come 2, and they were really like laser focused on the technical quality. And it was really hard in Kuttenberg, by the way, but yeah, they managed to do that. I'm really proud of what they did.
Yeah.
So if any of them is listening, good job, guys.
And I was very impressed with the technical quality of the game when it was released, because I played the first one, and of course it was raw in many points. It's normal, but I expected a better experience, but a similar experience, at least in the first weeks of the release. Instead, the game was very well optimized, and we did not encounter any bugs. And it's strange to say that, because it should be the normal condition of a game, but even today, with multi-millionaire projects, AAA game, quadruple A game, usually they are a mess. It was very well done, and especially the part with the optimization on PC and console. I don't know if your team was so experienced in the console version of a game. I guess it's different. I'm not an expert on that camp, so you could tell me if the multi-platform release was an issue for you and your team, maybe?
Well, thankfully, now with PS5 and Xbox Series, those systems are, from the hardware perspective, very similar to PCs. We are not in the PlayStation 3 era where the CPU is completely different. Yes. So you don't, the experience with the consoles is important. But at the end, you are still trying to squeeze every little optimization from every little feature. You're checking the frame times and everything, and you're trying to see every little piece of the game, and you're seeing how much resources it draws. You have information from the auto test in which specific locations, the frames spike and everything.
Okay.
So you don't really nowadays, and it's my, as I said, I'm not a programmer at all. I have only a limited view to their work, but this is my general opinion, that you still just need to dedicate a lot of time of experienced people to really optimize your game, and to be watchful during the development, that you don't have some, game-breaking issue in the game that couldn't be fixed, because some decisions could do this. You could decide, okay, guys, I need 1,000 people on the screen, and that can't be really optimized unless you really dig into that at the beginning of the development, if that is your core feature. So some issues can't be just polished at the end. Some issues are or should be obvious from the beginning, and you need experienced people that would see this issue in time and ring the alarm. And also you need the executives that would listen to these people, because that's quite a lot of time the issue, that somebody would say, you you just can't have 1,000 people on the screen and nobody will listen to them. They will say, listen, you will fix it later. Just ignore this for now. Later we will fix it. And they won't, because for example, it can't be fixed, for example.
Okay.
But there's a lot of different reasons why some games have issues. But yeah, it's, game development is really hard and complex thing to do. So yeah, there are issues.
Well, the moral of the story is people must be capable and must listen to each other. It's a teamwork. L'ultima domanda, come da tradizione, ormai doveva essere strana, quindi dopo aver traumatizzato Adrian Bouchet con il mio pitone di 6 kg. Sì. It's not so chill.
God. Christ. Wow.
Ho chiesto se lui o qualche altro membro di Warhorse per caso conoscessero i canali di quei due sul server e tutto il lavoro che hanno fatto nei riguardi del primo Kingdom Come Deliverance. Purtroppo lui non sapeva nulla e chiaramente non poteva parlare invece dei suoi colleghi. Però mi ha confermato che Warhorse è a conoscenza del fatto che Kingdom Come Deliverance come IP è stata particolarmente apprezzata in Italia. Per cui chissà.
I personally haven't.
Okay.
I can ask in my team, and maybe some of them will. But I knew that surprisingly, Kingdom Come is quite strong in Italy.
Yes.
So
it's because of them.
Now I might realize why that is, because I didn't know.
Yes, it's because of them. They are playing also the second one. Just to be clear, they love the game, but they played in a not conventional way. So
and we know that, and that's completely fine. We know that our fans or YouTubers, everybody, the game is systems driven. So if you really try and try to break something, it will break, but usually in very like a funny way.
Yes.
And we're completely fine with that. That's the tools we are giving to the community. And usually, if you just want to play it seriously, that's fine. But if you want to be really silly, that's also fine. And we want to give you the tools and the systems and everything to go crazy. So yes.
They did some stuff. They broke the cutscenes because they played an Henry which was basically a serial killer. He goes around killing everyone, so all the people, all the NPC are scared of him, so they have to run after Sarah to talk to him because he was so scared of him. And it was so fun. They are a pretty big channel in Italy, and they are silly guys, but they are good people. So of course they.
And it's QDSS, four letters.
Yes, QDSS.
I'll check them out.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm sure that they will love to have this answer in the future because they are really enjoying the second game. They are fun, chaotic fans, but still fun. E questo è quanto. Si è trattato di un'intervista breve ma interessante, non volevo far perdere tempo e ho scelto quindi poche domande ma sul pezzo. Poi chissà, potrei avere domandato il segreto del ciambellano, ma questo comunque sarà un segreto che morirà con me. In ogni caso è stata un'intervista piacevolissima, chiaramente io ringrazio Warhorse per la disponibilità. Si tratta, questo delle interviste, di un format che ho cominciato, questa è solo la seconda, ma vorrei portare avanti, ne ho già altre pianificate. Piano piano, queste cose richiedono del tempo. Non sono dei video che vanno bene, ma sono dei video che mi piace fare e che secondo me sono anche professionalmente soddisfacenti. Detto questo, però, per chi è interessato a questo tipo di contenuto, vi chiedo per favore di lasciare like, commentare. C'è anche una nuova possibilità di supportare, ovvero mettere hype, cliccare sul pulsante dell'hype per spingere un pochino di più il video. In questo modo, più questi video vengono visti, più è plausibile che in futuro avrò occasioni per intervistare altre persone. Quindi è veramente un circolo virtuoso. Ci rivediamo con Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 sicuramente per la recensione, che ancora non è uscita, però a questo punto uscirà nel suo pacchetto completo, per così dire, con tutti i DLC pubblicati, le patch e gli aggiornamenti. Io vi ringrazio per l'attenzione e noi ci sentiamo o ci vediamo in un prossimo video.